Welcome to At Ease with Cooking. I'm Bonnie Kershke, your host. You know, before we know it, the holidays will once again be upon us, and we'll all be scurrying around to get those holiday cards written, that shopping and gift wrapping finished, and those wonderfully scrumptious cookies and confections that our families love so much baked. Well, to help you get an early start on this year's baking, we're going to be demonstrating several recipes for you that we hope you want to include in your cookie and confections presentations this year. And we'll begin with a recipe for strawberry strips prepared by Gladys Meinz. Hi, Gladys.
Hi, Bonnie.
It's great to have you back with us.
Well, thank you.
Again, this evening. You're kind of tradition around the holidays because you love to bake and you have so many great recipes. This one sounds especially delicious to me, strawberry strips. Why don't you tell us about that recipe?
Well, it's my sister that has the hotel in London. She makes this a lot.
Oh, great.
I've never made it too much myself, but I've seen my sister make it and I've helped her. And it's very simple. It's a very, very easy dough to handle. So that's why I like it.
And this dough we're going to be not only using for this recipe, but for the next one as well,
Yeah.
which really makes this very versatile then, because you can get two different kinds out of the same.
We're going to be using it for the cutout cookies too.
Well, why don't you show us the ingredients you'll be using?
I'll tell you what we're going to put in it first. We're going to use 1 cup of butter.
Okay. You've got a great mixer there too. I know that helps you in your baking.
I've got a new one.
Yes.
And I have half a cup of brown sugar. Now you can use either the dark brown sugar or the light, it doesn't matter.
Either one, great.
And half a cup of white sugar. And a little bit, teaspoon about, of lemon juice.
Ooh, that'll be nice. Little tartness, huh?
And 1 egg.
Okay. There we go.
Now we're going to mix this up. No, it's not locked.
Yes, and that's important, isn't it, to have those locked?
You've got to lock this and see as your bowl is locked. You mix this just a couple of minutes
Till it gets nicely creamed together.
Yeah, and then what I always do is stop it after about 1 minute and push your butter down back in it.
Oh, sure. Sometimes
it tends to get
stuck to the beater,
stuck in
doesn't
there.
it?
Yeah, that's better now.
I understand you make quite a bit of cookies at the holidays, among other things, pumpkin bread and your puddings and your...
I'm not going to make so many this year. There's a lot of my neighbours. I always used to give cookies and fruit cake and the fruit breads to my neighbours, but God bless them, a lot of them have passed on and a lot of them have gone to nursing homes.
Yeah, that's particularly hard. I'm sure.
But I have a few young men that have moved in across the street, and the man next door to me, his wife died, so I bake cookies for him.
Oh,
now
yeah.
I'm going to put in 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour.
All right.
And this has been sifted.
Okay. Did you sift? You sifted before you measured?
It's pre-sifted.
Pre-sifted. Okay.
I buy the pre-sifted flour. I use 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
The powder. All right.
And salt is optional. There's half a teaspoon in here.
Okay.
If you don't want to put salt in,
you can just leave that out then.
Turns out just as good. We started out on slow.
Yes. Now, another thing that I thought was really interesting about this recipe is you didn't have to chill it before you could use it either, which sometimes, you know, you want to get those cookies done and you start it, and then if you have to chill it for an hour or two.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
No. Great.
You don't have to chill it. If you want to chill it, fine, and then it doesn't hurt, though. It doesn't hurt. Either way, it's
not to do it.
This is a very versatile dough. This is why I like it. You can make batch after batch after batch, you know, if you want to make as many cookies as I usually do.
Yes, and I know you do make a lot.
See there again, you've got to get it off your beaters.
Oh, sure.
It does tend to stick. It's like almost it's doughy, you know.
Sure. cookie dough.
Okay, then you start it up again. You see it's forming a ball.
Yes. And now is that how you know when it's actually...
Yeah, it leaves the side of the bowl, see, and clings to your beaters and forms a ball. But just let it, you know, another minute or so. It's not going to hurt it.
Let it go a little bit longer.
Yeah,
sure.
Not going to hurt it one bit. This is about the best cookie dough I've ever worked with for you know, Christmas cookies.
Yes, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful because it has that nice buttery flavor.
And you know, if you've got where you don't want to use butter, use margarine. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know.
Okay, you can use either one then.
It turns out just as good. Not you know, they're not quite as rich, but margarine's fine too, you know. So we'll get it off the beaters, and it's best if you use your fingers.
I sometimes think that is the best way, isn't it? For certain things, you can't beat your fingers.
I'm going to put this down here and move this a wee bit.
Okay. All right, get that out of the way for you.
Now we're going to roll this out. And don't be one bit afraid to flour your cloth. Not going to hurt it one bit when you're rolling pin. Just don't roll off.
Yes.
The thing you've got to remember with this dough is just take a little bit at a time.
A little bit, okay.
You know, about as big as a tennis ball, I would say. And then this is going to make one. We're going to make the strips first.
All right.
This is going to make one strip. So what you do is take and just roll it a little bit. You can kind of shape it with your hands. Like,
oh, sure.
And leave it about, I would say, 1/8 of an inch thick.
Okay.
Then you put it on, and first you're going to, before we do that, we're going to take the spatula and we're going to make an indentation, or a wooden spoon, whatever. Anything that makes an indentation down the middle.
So that's how we're going to get that strip, the strawberry strip.
And then we're going to take some strawberry jam, and you can use any kind of jam you happen to have in the cupboard. Doesn't matter.
This is particularly nice for the holidays.
I thought strawberries red, you know, for the holidays, but you can use whatever you like. It doesn't matter.
Oh, great.
Then we're going to pick this up with the spatula because the dough is short.
Yes.
And
okay.
it, you know, would tend to break on you.
Sure.
So then you take another piece and you make another one.
Okay.
But don't be afraid to flour it. It's not going to hurt it.
Well, that's nice too because I think you're going to slice these once they're baked, so you're going to get you don't have to do as much rolling or as much preparation with the cookies when you make them.
See, after you've made a few of these, you get into the rhythm of it, and it goes really quick. You know.
And they are delicious too because I had one a little while ago. Very good.
Well, I think they're pretty good. I'm like I say, I don't make them too much, but my sister does, and she has a small hotel. They seem to go over well with their guests, you know. Okay. And I've tried them on my neighbors.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the ones that you've already baked up, and then you're going to show what you do with them once they're baked.
Okay.
And we can just fold that over because we're going to be using that again. Sure. And then you can tell us what you're going to do now.
You're going to bake these strips, though. Out for how long? See, you're going to bake them about between 12 and 15 minutes. You can just see the edges getting a little brown.
Brown, right.
Leave them on your cookie sheet. Don't take them off your cookie sheet. Just take them out the oven, take them to the table. Then you're going to mix a glaze.
All right.
And you're going to use, well, for the glaze, I use just plain water and powdered sugar.
Okay.
And it depends how much glaze you're going to make. And now I've got 2 cups of powdered sugar.
All right.
And we're going to, well, we'll try it out with like 3 tablespoons of water.
All right.
And then another teaspoon or so of lemon juice.
Okay.
And then you just beat this up, and then you add the water to make it the right consistency for drizzling. It's got to be good drizzle.
Yes. Can't be too thick for that.
No, it's got to be able to run right off your fork, you know. So start out with a little less water, and you can always add water.
That's right.
You can always add. You can't take it out once you put it in.
No, then you start adding the powder, having to add more powdered sugar, and it gets kind of difficult to do that.
Okay. Then you just mix it up, and then you just drizzle it over like
Oh, sure.
like this, you know,
Uh-huh.
just so it's drizzly.
Do you do that while they're still hot, or do you wait
No,
for them
you
to
leave
cool?
for them to, you leave them cool. You leave mine about half an hour to cool.
Okay, and then...
And then I leave them another hour before I cut them in strips, because this pastry is very short and it will
So after you
crumble on you.
After you put the glaze on,
I
then
leave them about another hour.
another hour.
Yeah.
Now, are these going to be all right to cook? Because these have been cooked a while ago, so...
Well, these were baked last night, so
Yes.
they're going to be fine.
They're going to be great. Okay.
So, should we cut them?
Yes, show them how you cut them,
Okay.
because I think it's really interesting the way these... how pretty they look.
I'll cut it on the sheet.
Right, okay.
But what I do is cut the corner off and waste that. That goes to the neighborhood kids.
Those lucky kids, huh?
Then you cut them diagonal.
Diagonal, okay.
And then they kind of make...
Oh, yes. Oh, they look so pretty, and we've got a whole tray of them prepared here that we want to show how beautiful these look when the glaze has had a chance to set up. And it almost looks like stained glass, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The strawberry jam in there. They look beautiful.
Like I say, it's such an easy dough to handle that kids can do this, you know.
Oh,
if you've got
wouldn't-
children or grandchildren, let them.
Let them help you, because that will be make a family tradition. You can
Well,
start there.
it's not a kind of a dough that frightens people.
Well,
Most of this sugar, this Christmassy dough you get for Christmas cookies, they get so intimidated by it that they're frightened to death it's going to roll out and stick to the cloth and
Yes.
whatever, you know.
Yes.
And this doesn't, what's to be frightened with this, you know, put a bit more flour on your cloth.
They look beautiful, the strawberry strips. And coming up next, Gladys is going to use this same dough to prepare her Christmas cutout cookies. Your Christmas cutout cookies, Gladys. I know you made quite a few of them last year, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I made one weekend when Sarah was visiting me, and Sarah is my granddaughter, 6 years old. She visited me, and we made, well, Dr. Preston is the one that counted them. I wouldn't have been bothered doing it. But he counted them just out of curiosity, and there was 1,048.
1,048 cookies. That was quite a few batches that you whipped up that weekend, wasn't
but
it?
then again, this is easy dough.
And
so-
wasn't that a wonderful helper that you had? I bet she had the time of her life.
Well, yeah, she loves it.
She loves it.
You put a baking apron on and she loves it.
Okay, great. Now, this is the same dough as we mentioned.
This is the same dough, and we're going to take and make rolled out cookies now.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to flour it again. This dough, you're going to roll thinner.
Thinner
Where you
than
left
for
it-
the strawberries.
Yes, you left your other about 1/8 of an inch thick, and this we're going to roll to about 1/16,
Okay.
about half as thin. Like I say, you don't have to be afraid of this dough. So then we're going to cut out. And these cookie cutters are very good. I love these because you don't have to.
Oh, wow. Now,
We'll
there's a special little story to these
Yes,
cookie
these
cutouts,
were
isn't it?
my dad's.
They were your dad's.
My dad was a baker, as you probably all know, and I went home one time, not for my dad's funeral, but it was after when my mother was going to move to a smaller place, and she was cleaning stuff out that it was daddy's, and I got these. My other sisters got some other stuff of his, but I got some of his cookie cutters.
That was really nice of your mom
And I
to
got a
give those
few
to
of
you.
his. This is one of my dad's cookie sheets.
Oh, one of his. Well, that's
I've
been
got
around
two of
for a
these,
couple of years,
two of
hasn't
these.
it? Uh-huh. Wonderful.
There's
Okay,
one of each kind now.
and then you can re-roll that, right?
Just pick it up and put a bit more flour on it, and
re-roll it. Now, these, how long are these going to bake in the oven?
they're going to bake about, because they're thinner than the others, look at these in 8 to 10 minutes.
8 at what temperature?
350, the same as you do the
Okay,
strips.
350, same temperature. So they can even go in at the same you can just get a production line going here with first
yeah,
your strawberry strips and then your Christmas cutouts.
If you had enough cookie sheets, yes.
Yes, you really can. That's great. And then we've already got some that have been baked that you're going to show us how you like to decorate them, which is fun. What did she like to do with?
Well, Sarah, I did the baking, of course, and the frosting, and Sarah did the sprinkles.
She did the sprinkles.
Sprinkles. She put every sprinkle on all those 1,048 cookies. Bless her.
Oh, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Took us all day Sunday.
Oh, okay.
See, you can use this dough right up until the last little speck.
It's gone. Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I took your tray away from you.
Well, there's one.
One more there. Well, I'm going to move this over here for you, Gladys, so that you can get at this.
Okay, we can put this under here.
Sure, that's fine. And here's your glaze. Here, I'll take that for you. And then here is some frosting that you made also. Maybe you'll tell us a little bit about the frosting.
The frosting is just butter. I used, well, I make a big batch of mine, but 2 cups of powdered sugar and about, I'd say half a cup of butter, 3 cups of powdered sugar and half a cup of butter, and a little bit of lemon juice or a little bit of vanilla. And for these, I put in just a hint of yellow food coloring, just a tiny little hint.
Okay.
Because otherwise it gets too whitish looking.
Okay.
So, and then you just beat it up and you know, you decorate these the way you want to decorate them. You know, you use your imagination.
Okay.
This is a good job if you've got teenagers. They love to do this stuff. Yeah,
Well, I say in another year or so, Sarah's going to be doing that for you, isn't she?
Well, she'll probably be doing the baking.
She'll be doing. You'll just be supervising.
If I have my way, Sarah will be doing the baking. No, I'm not going to be baking like this after this year. I'm going to be selling my house after this year, and I don't think I could do this in an apartment.
Well, that would probably be a little bit hard to manage all of those cookies. But I knowing you will still.
I'll file some way to do it.
Yes, you'll do some. You'll just do it on a smaller scale. That's all. Because I know you love to bake, and I'm sure that comes as a result of having helped your dad when you were little.
Well, now we'll put a few sprinkles on these. And you can do a few green or a few red or whatever you've got.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I bet you did have fun doing those.
Oh, yeah. We had sprinkles all over the dining room floor for weeks.
Oh, okay. And then here you had
and this is the glaze that we make for putting on the, for the...
Some of those cookies,
For the bars, the strips, I mean.
That's right. A little bit thicker for this.
But we've made it a little thicker. We add a little more powdered sugar. And I kind of like the glaze myself because it hardens up.
Oh, okay.
A little better than the frosting does. You know, the frosting, well, your frosting will harden up if you leave it a day or so, but I like the glaze because it'll harden up in about an hour and you know, after you've done a few of these, you can get so you can just fly through it, you know.
Yes. And it took you you just spent one weekend making those 1,048 cookies.
We baked all day Saturday, and then I usually put the leaf in my dining room table so it's good and long, and then I put white bath towels all over, take the tablecloth off, of course, and put bath towels. I got a plastic tablecloth under the bath towels, and then I put the bath towels on top, the white bath towels, and then as the cookies come off the tray, I just set them all on the bath towels in rows.
Okay, as they were cooling.
And then let them cool on there, and then when I go to bed that night, I don't even bother frosting them that day. Then when I go to bed that night, I just, when I'm all done baking then, and I just take the flour sack dish towels and cover them all up with that, and then next morning when you come home from church, if you do it on a weekend, then you can start in with your decorating.
What a wonderful thing for families to do together.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
And if your kids are grown, you can get those grandchildren to help you.
So you can do it with both hands, like if you're real good, you know.
Sure, you can get both colors on each one.
So,
well,
you know.
Here is the tray of some that Gladys has already prepared. The Christmas cutout cookies. Look marvelous. And then coming up next, Gladys and I are going to be preparing some chocolate-dipped confections. Chocolate-dipped confections. This sounds great, and I know your sister in England does this a lot for her hotel, doesn't she?
Yes, it's not in England though, it's in Wales.
It's in Wales. Oh, okay. What does she use to do her dipping?
She uses, well, you can either use the bar chocolate, Cadbury's bar chocolate, or lots of times she'll use the chocolate chips.
Okay.
The semi-sweet chocolate chips, and she uses the plain chocolate chips or the mint-flavored chocolate chips. And then she melts it. Well, she takes like 1 cup of chocolate chips, and you have to kind of make it, and just your butter. Use 1 tablespoon at a time. It takes about between 3 and 4 tablespoons. But use 1 tablespoon at a time, and just keep adding it and stirring it and melting it until it gets to be right for dipping.
Right, and what we've done is we've warmed water underneath here in a double boiler, and then put the chocolate chips in the top. Now we're just using a half of that. We're using a half a cup of the chocolate chips and about 2 tablespoons of the butter. Personally, my own preference is I like the milk chocolate better. So you can use the milk chocolate if you would prefer. Yeah. You can use the white chocolate too. And for the holidays, a lot of times they have those, if you go to the candy stores, they will have those little buttons, and they'll have a pink and a green and a red, and you certainly could use those too. You also don't have to use the butter if you don't want to. You can use Crisco, but you would not want to use as much Crisco as you do the butter. There again, do it till you get a nice dipping consistency. You don't want it too thick, but you don't want it too thin either. And since we just have a small amount here, we're going to be dipping a little variety of things here. And to give you an example of some of the things that you can dip, of course, I think everybody knows about dipping the strawberries. If you're going to do fresh strawberries, you've got to be sure that all of the moisture is patted off the strawberries, because otherwise you put those strawberries with moisture in the chocolate, and that chocolate's just going to seize up on you, and you're really not going to be able to use it then. You could do maraschino cherries with the stems. They would be very pretty. There again, be sure you get every bit of juice off. Here we've got a variety of things. We've got some dried apricots. We've got some of these candied slices here. Those are real interesting to do. I did them a little bit earlier, and what I did was I cut them in half and did them in half, and that's a nice amount to handle at a time. People love to do pretzels. These little pretzels here, they're great to dip in the chocolate, and seems if you go out and buy those in the dipped in the white chocolate, or it's really a white coating, they're very expensive, so you can do those at home. My daughter-in-law's mother used to do those all the time. Their family just loved them. You can do dates. You can throw in raisins. You can use this candied pineapple that you find during the holidays, and you just want to cut that up. You can throw whole nuts in there. Just anything that you can think of, you can dip in chocolate. You can either dip the whole piece in chocolate, or you can just do a part of the piece. Why don't I let you do one of the apricot halves, Gladys?
And we're going to put them on the wax paper till they've hardened up.
Right.
Cooled and hardened up.
There we've got some of that delicious pineapple. And if it's close to the holidays, you can get that candied strips of orange and lemon and grapefruit peel, and that is absolutely fantastic. You just want to dip about half of the stick of that in. That's not so easy to come by, though. A lot of times now they're selling that already chopped up. You can make it yourself, but it is a long process if you do make it yourself. But I had a lot of fun doing this, and it would be a great thing to put in a candy box and give to someone for a little housewarming gift or a little Christmas gift. And here Gladys has got the pretzels, and look at how neat they're coming out. They're beautiful.
It looks kind of messy, and
yeah, but it does.
But that's why you
put it on the wax paper.
On wax paper.
Right.
I just wanted to mention one thing, Bonnie, that I think maybe have slipped your mind. But when you're doing this pineapple, be sure you pat it good and dry
Yes.
with a paper towel, because otherwise you are going to get
that chocolate will seize up
moisture in the
right.
and your chocolate won't be any good at all.
Right. The nuts you do the same way as you do the pretzels, and we've got a little dipping fork here that some of the local craft stores that have candy supplies will carry this, or some of those confection stores will carry that, those too. And what we've got here is I'd just like to show you a number of the things that we did do. That most of them are, I think all of them are on this plate, that you can see that we did dip. We've got the pretzels with the white coating and the chocolate. We've got these little slices that we cut in half, and we dipped in some of them in the chocolate and some of them in the white. We've got the pecans and we've got the dates. And here we did a double dipping on the pineapple, chocolate on one side and then the white coating on the other. And here with the pretzels, then drizzled a little bit of the white chocolate back onto the chocolate flavored coating on the pretzels. Just had a real lot of fun, and it adds a lot to your presentation for your cookie tray. So you can just do all of these things and add them to your cookie tray and just have a great time. Now, if you'd like a copy of this evening's recipes, if you'll send us a self-addressed, stamped business-size envelope and mail it to the following address, being sure you do include the title of this evening's show, Holiday Cookies and Confections, Part 3, we'll be happy to get those recipes to you. Well, we're back with our scrumptious cookies and confections that have been prepared this evening. We have our strawberry strips, our Christmas cutout cookies, and our chocolate-dipped confections. And Gladys, you did a great job this evening preparing all these cookies and helping with all the chocolate-dipped confections. Thanks so much for sharing your recipes with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you, too, for watching. And we hope you'll tune us in again next time for At Ease with Cooking. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.